Hello, and fancy seeing you guys here. Horizontally, that is. Welcome to the ultimate How to Thrift video. Here are my credentials. I was once called poor on Facebook 13 years ago. I've been thrifting since.
Shoes.
Here are some things I've thrifted. Teapot, lamps, headboard, my cat, 1944 emergency ration, shoes, handbags, picnic basket, and all my clothes. Oh boy! Ah! Okay. I even thrifted my best friend from my ex-boyfriend. He broke up with me because he said that I was unrealistic with my YouTube career. Disclaimer!
Skip here if you don't want to talk about the economic political state of the world right now.
Here's a comment I see a lot about thrifting. I hate how thrifting is a trend now. And you know what I say to that? What? I think it's awesome because people who maybe can't afford all the new stuff can go thrifting, and it's like seen as this awesome treasure hunt. When I was growing up, thrifting wasn't cool. People were really made fun of for wearing anything secondhand. Thrifting is a great way to develop personal style because, as we all know, money doesn't equal style. Being at the thrift store and having a limited option, one-of-one items, is a great way for people to use their cerebrums.
Well, why would you want someone's hand-me-downs?
Honestly, a lot of times the older stuff is actually made better. Leave the bigger sizes. Now, this is a nuanced conversation. I understand I can go into basically any thrift store anywhere in the mall and I can find something in there that will fit me 100% of the time. And that's a privilege. I'm acknowledging that. And I understand that there's a limit on plus size clothing in thrift stores, and it's not realistic to tell everyone to thrift everything all the time. I mean, I don't even thrift everything all the time. However, I will leave you with this. Clothes go to thrift stores to die. It goes donation, thrift store, outlet stores, overseas, sometimes recycled material, and then landfill. And here's a hot take. I actually think thrifting is a privilege. In order to thrift, you have to have the time to sift through all the racks, and fast fashion now is almost cheaper because you can just pick out your item, add it to your cart, and buy it, whereas in the thrift store, you have to go through everything. And then if you're not a straight size person, you have a really limited amount of options. I'm not talking about those people, but the influencers who spend $500 on Shein, I just think that is irresponsible and lazy.
Act 1. Types of thrifting.
Now, there's more than one kind of thrift store. First up, we have the bins, which is the rock bottom of thrifting. The bins are the most difficult and not for a beginner. Nothing is curated, nothing is hung up. You'll have to sift through lots of junk. This requires a lot of patience, but it is the cheapest. It's usually pay by the pound.
Tell them that it's all the outlets.
Technically, these are called the outlet stores. The first time I went, I actually didn't know this, but you have to like wait your turn. I thought that you could just walk in. No, of course not. Why would you be able to do that? It's not my favorite type of thrifting.
I don't like. Oh, too bad.
My fight or flight gets triggered and I feel, what is that? My cortisol is on the moon. And especially for shoes, like there's like a time limit. And there used to be a clock over here. Just pretend that it's there. You're sifting through everything, trying to find the other pair of shoe. But if you're going bin diving, bring gloves and hand sanitizer. There are horror stories of what are in those bins at the rock bottom of thrifting. Next up, we have the charity shops. These are your local thrifts, your Goodwills, your Salvation Armies, and I rate this one a medium difficulty. You will still find a lot of fast fashion, but things are curated, things are by size, cheaper than retail. These are also donation-based like the bins. Now, the easiest and most expensive version of thrifting is what I like to call rich people thrifting. It is the boutique shops. It's where everything is curated. Every time you go, you're likely to find a good item because someone literally picked out every single item, which is why it's typically the most expensive, and you're likely to find designer things, but like I said, most expensive because you're paying someone to literally pick out the stuff. These stores are also usually consignment based, and they'll usually have really good quality, really good brands, you know, no stains, rips, that sort of thing. A lot of these stores will also have an exchange for store credit if you donate your items. The next genre of stores are estate sales, yard sales, flea markets, garage sales, range of prices. A yard sale is a yard with sale items that the stuff needs a new home for. I like to call these the 4 Ds, my 4 favorite Ds. Now, some of the reasons why this stuff might be on sale: divorce, downsizing, debt, and death. Because best believe the only way I'm getting rid of my stuff is if I die. That's usually where the good stuff is. Estate sales are like yard sales times 1,000 because people are really trying to get rid of stuff. You can find them by using this website. And a flea market is a market with a bunch of different people selling stuff. Vintage, antiques, local artists, that sort of thing. Now, Friday and Saturday will have the biggest selection of stuff, but if you go on Sunday, you can haggle more. Which I'm not usually that good at because, no, I get really nervous about asking people to lower their prices. Sometimes I'm just like, okay, yeah, that's a great deal. And lastly, online thrift stores. This is a range of prices. Here is a whole list of them that I've compiled.
Act 2. When and where.
Gotta think like a kid on Halloween. If you want the king size candy bars, you gotta go to the rich houses. You've gotta go often because sometimes you're just not gonna find anything. Like anything in life, it does take practice. You aren't gonna find an Amelia Pucci Gucci every single time you go. I prefer to go in the morning after I have my coffee. I prefer to go on a weekday because it's less crowded. I really don't like pushing through people. And you have free will. You can actually ask the employees when they restock the store. So,
Hey, when do you guys restock the store?
Tuesdays.
Okay, cool, thank you.
so you get there before the other fashion
Act 3. Prepare.
In order to get the cool jacket, you've got to be fed, hydrated, and rested. Being in the thrift store without step 1 is like being a child with a seam on the wrong side of your foot. What's in my thrift bag?
I like this bag because 27% of people said that I looked weird in a backpack.
Water bottle, a snack, headphones, monies. Sometimes you'll get a discount with cash. Hand sanitizer, claw clip or scrunchie, a black light to look for uranium items. Socks so you can try on shoes, and gloves if you're bin diving. Optional, a buddy is also great, especially if you have separate aesthetics, because then you guys don't become ops in the thrift store. You'd be very surprised how quickly your thrift buddy can become your enemy. Well, if you're not with me, then you're my enemy. Something I will never bring to the thrift store also is a coffee. I think it's so annoying to walk through and you're having to hold your coffee and look through the things, and then you're putting the clothing racks on your arm and then your coffee's spilling all over you. It happens to me every time I bring a coffee there. What to wear? Step 1, take off those accessories. Next, make sure you remove that crazy outfit and uncomfortable shoes also. Nice. Now, you could opt for a slinky dress, but what happens if you have to try on a tight-fitting dress or pants? Now that just looks ridiculous. Wear tight-fitting clothes instead. And socks. You don't know where other people's feet have been.
Oh, Angela.
And comfy shoes that are easy to slip on and off. Now, the silhouette of this outfit is great, but now you're only focused on what looks good with that outfit. Turn on incognito mode. And now you're actually looking at the item instead of what looks good with your outfit.
Incognito.
Now let's talk about that purse. That purse is much too small and doesn't even hold my favorite rock that I picked up in Colorado.
Aww.
This bag is much better. Yeah. Trying on clothes like this is great if you also get mystery hives from mystery objects. Plus, sometimes the fitting rooms are closed. So I'm supposed to be incognito, and I was like, they won't know that I'm wearing the same clothes but I'm actually wearing the same clothes as yesterday. So you think that it's the same day, but it's actually the next day.
Gotcha.
Other thing I like to do before going to the thrift store, which I'm always adding to, is a mood board. I have mine on Pinterest called Ange. I just pin everything to it that I love. Furniture, vibes, clothing. I like to look at it every time before I go thrifting because it gives me a good idea of what to look out for. It's like when you learn a new word and then you start seeing that word everywhere. Make a literal list of everything that you want to find. Once you put it out there that you want a certain item, I feel like you find it at the thrift store right after you say that you want it. And with your thrift buddy, you can send them that list and then they can send you your list, and then you can keep an eye out for each other.
Act 4. How to find stuff.
Step 1, walk into the store with confidence. The store can smell your fear.
Walking confidently.
Confident steps.
Step 2, start with the easier to see items. I like to look at the shoe rack, jewelry, furniture. For my newbies, these are usually in the corners or the back. Side note, these are just some items that I would never buy new. Picture frames, glassware, table runners, doilies. Oh, and wall art. The wall art at the thrift store is so much better than going to or Walmart and picking up one of those generic ones. Oh, and do not buy a flannel new. I swear to God, please do not go to buy a flannel. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what else I don't buy new. Or if anyone else has any other things that they don't buy new, please comment them below. Step 3. If you see people that look like this in the thrift store, or this, run immediately to the return rack. Step 4, pick a rack. I like to go for the dresses and lingerie sections first because I'm a dress girly. And if you see something that you like, don't think too hard. If you like it, put it in your cart and then go through your picks later. Step 5, out of season items. People are often like, oh, it's summertime. Why do I need a coat now? A lot of people will donate like coats that they don't want in the summertime. Even if it's summertime, look at the coats. And if it's wintertime, look at the swimsuits. Step 6, keep your eyes peeled. Now this takes practice. Patterns, colors, and textures. Step 7, fabric. Get your pinchers ready. Touch everything on the rack. The only way to start learning what different fabrics feel like is honestly just touching them. Once you get the hang of this, it becomes really easy. Fabric approved.
Ding. Bias cut.
Bias cut.
Ooh.
Versus not bias cut. So when you're cutting fabric pieces, they're all cut like this. Bop, 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 bop. Versus not on the bias, they're cut like this. Almost every time fast fashion companies, they don't cut the skirt on the bias, and you can tell immediately. Cutting things on the bias is more expensive because you need more fabric to do so, which is why a lot of times fast fashion companies don't do this. Fabric that's cut in the bias is stretchier, it drapes better, it looks better, it flows better.
Fibers.
Cotton, linen, wool, silk, cashmere. I also like velvet, lace, beaded fabrics, vintage fur. I'm not buying it new. All the clothes that are in the thrift store have also died. I'll buy a vintage fur.
Buttons.
Cheap clothing equals cheap buttons equals plastic. If a brand is taking the time to have nice buttons, chances are they're taking the time to make the rest of the garment really nice. Now you can tell the difference immediately. Plastic is super smooth. It has no rough edges on it. Natural buttons will be rougher to the touch and they'll also be cold.
If homeboy is coming through with these,
Right.
it's quiet. Yeah, no,
Right.
it's quiet for him. But like if he comes through in like these,
Yeah.
you got some mother of pearl out
Yeah.
here. You've got some horn. Homeboy is gonna like get it.
But Ange, how do we we spot vintage. The first thing you're gonna wanna do is check the tag. If a brand has fun and colorful tags, that is a good indicator that something might be vintage. A lot of modern brands, I don't know what this is. There's like a death of detail. They all look like this now. Also, a made in the USA label. Vintage. The USA started outsourcing clothes in the 70s, but really started using other countries after the 90s. Another good indicator that something is vintage is care instructions. Tags with care instructions weren't actually mandatory until 1972. So if it doesn't have care instructions, then you can be sure that it's made before 1972. If there's a style and lot number, this is the way that brands used to keep track of their inventory back in the day. Stop doing this after 1979 if anyone cares. If the tag has a Union label, yep, vintage.
Union labels were born in 1959 but had a rebrand in 1963 and started saying Union made. Then in 1974 they pulled a Lana Del Rey Americana look and died in 1995.
Oh, there was also a time where they were using half sizes on clothing. They stopped this in like the early 70s. It has a half size.
Vintage.
If you check the tag and the brand doesn't exist anymore, that's a good indicator. Not always vintage, but 60% of the time it works 80% of the time.
And for my curvy friends,
here's a list of brands to look out for.
Brands.
Now, if you check the tag, oh no, there's no tag at all. Vintage. Back in the day, people used to make their clothes a lot. The next thing to look out for is metal zippers. Plastic zippers became more common in the 70s, so if you see a metal one, it was probably pre-70s. Okay, next, turn your garment inside out. If you see this seam, kind of like a zigzag edge, it's likely pre-70s. Over-engineering details. Vintage clothes tends to have really high quality engineering. If you just see unnecessary things like this, full lining, matching fabric, covered buttons, reinforced seams, etc. Next, look at the stitching. If you see one line of stitching like this, it's pre-90s, and if you see two, it's somewhere in the 90s. I think that they were introduced like mid-90s, and they still use this double stitch today. Now, if you're looking at the garment and you're like, why does this size 6 look like a size 00? If the sizing seems off, definitely vintage. People always like to say, oh my god, Marilyn Monroe, she was like a size 14 or something. There's this thing called vanity sizing where stores started to make the size smaller on the label in order to make people feel good, and also the average person is just not the same size as they were back in the days.
This is a size 14, and this is a size 12, this is a size 6, and this is a size 2, and that's why you should ignore the size tag.
If there's a specific silhouette, or definitely a good indicator of a certain era, skirts, 60s, 50s, tent dresses, 60s, shoulder pads, 80s, empire waist, maybe 70s. Step 8, gender is a construct. Look in all the different sections. Look at this trench in the men's section.
Nice.
Step 9, get creative and keep an open mind. That's so girl wearing a skirt as a top. A belt as a necklace. A vase as a soap dispenser. A curtain as a fabric vessel. Denim, studs, cutting up clothes, safety pinning. And even if you're not a master sewer or DIYer, the best way to learn is just by doing it. Step 10. Now ignore everything I said about the tags. Whether it's good material or not, if you like it, maybe buy it. Plus, it's in the thrift store. How expensive can it be anyway? Look at this jumpsuit. It has a Walmart label on it, and I got it in the thrift store. Step 11. Look in sections that aren't your size. Like I said before, not every decade follows the same sizing. Now, here are things that I avoid at the thrift store at all costs. Scratchy sweaters. Things that are too snug. Don't buy something based on the fact that if you lose weight or not. I will a lot of the times avoid fast fashion labels just because things aren't made as well. But like I said, if you like it, buy it. Items you won't wear. I think the biggest fashion crime is buying clothes and then not wearing them. For example, I have a million lightweight jackets. I really don't need another lightweight jacket.
I did need this one though.
Items too big that you definitely won't tailor. Dry rot. You are going to want to avoid this. I used to think that dry rot would spread to other clothes, and Google says that's a myth, but I still don't care. It just gives me a bad aura. Keep it away from all of your other items. Best way to prevent this from happening is to store your clothes properly. Certain polyesters. It's that kind of polyester where it's really papery feeling. But Ange, why do brands use it so much then? It's cheaper to make, it's wrinkle resistant, it can take certain colors better. Not all polyester is bad, and it really retains sweat. No one wants that. Avoid anything that has silky language. Satiny, silk-like, silky. If it doesn't just straight up say silk on the tag, it's not silk. Something else I avoid is suede. I freaking hate suede. It's the biggest pain in the ass. It's so hard to clean. It's really expensive to clean. You can't wear it in the heat. You can't wear it in the cold. You can't wear it in the rain. I'm already high maintenance enough. I don't need my clothes to be even more high maintenance.
Act 5.
The internet. Now, if you're looking for something specific, you're gonna want to think like a boomer mom.
So sweet. This made me smile.
Words like vintage or core, ballet core, cottage core are gonna get marked up because they know you suckers are looking for it. Less trend-focused wording is gonna get you better results. Your mom isn't brain rotted, okay? She's not scrolling on Reddit and TikTok all day like we are. She doesn't know what these words are. Instead of saying vintage, use the words used, pre-loved, previously owned. Instead of mid-century modern, try retro, atomic, Y2K, 90s, early 2000s, cottage core, prairie, farmhouse, puff puff sleeve. Here are some other ones that I've thought of, yada yada, you get it. Now, once you start looking to browse, the site actually will start learning what you like. I love targeted ads, but a good jumping off point, you have never done this before, is start searching by decade, fabric, brands that you like, and then the site can start to learn what to recommend you. Next, once you click on an item that you like, the algorithm will actually give you recommendations if you scroll down a bit. Now, you're gonna wanna use that like button. And just like in a thrift store, make a little cart for yourself. Add things to your cart, add things to your likes, because a lot of the times on sites like eBay,
After you wait a bit.
the seller will actually give you a discount
Nice.
if it's already in your likes. You can also save a search and set up notifications if you're looking for a specific item. Next, Google Lens. If you see something you like and you're set on it, screenshot it. Open the Google app, upload the screenshot to Google. You can also add a descriptive search, optional.
What's this? The jumpsuit I found. $88. What a steal. Yeah.
You may find a better deal because it comes up with all the different items that look just like that screenshot. A lot of the times, sellers will upload things on eBay for cheaper because eBay takes less of a cut. So you might see the same seller on eBay selling the same item for cheaper. Reviews. Make sure the seller is an internet user and it's not a scam. Optional. You can also message the seller. If you have a question, don't be shy, and you can bargain. Or if you're buying multiple items from the same seller, you can message them and ask them for a discount on shipping, because if they're all going to ship the items to the same place anyway, you might as well just get a shipping bundle. Measurements. It's really good with thrifting to know your main 3 measurements. So that's bust, waist, and hips. A lot of the time sellers online will have something called a laid flat measurement. If you see that the bust dimensions are 18 inches, that doesn't literally mean that the shirt is 18 inches around the bust, because that would be teeny tiny. What you're going to want to do is times that by 2, because of the circumference, it's got to go all the way around
And
the body.
then, is math related to science?
Math is the language.
If the bust is 18 inches, it's 36 inches around. Another thing to keep in mind is if the fabric is non-stretch. If it's stretch, you have a little bit of give, obviously, and if it's non-stretch, you don't want to be squeezing and getting uncomfortable.
Facebook Marketplace. Open Facebook. Click on the little house. Enter your coordinates. Apply.
Roll.
Save. Roll.
Look at all these fun finds. A lot of the times people don't know what they have.
Quiet. Someone called this a wind chime on Facebook Marketplace.
Swan mirror. Let's check the Google app.
Wow, some of these are going for a lot of dollars. $75. That's a steal. Let's get it.
Is that still for sale?
Yes. You might even make a friend.
The day I retired, my mother passed away.
Oh my God.
Facebook Marketplace requires a Quest. And when buying on there, they usually want cash. I don't usually like to carry cash on me ever since I've been robbed at gun knife point. Then I had to cross the sea of Staten Island. I thought that this island would have more palm trees. Wait, I think Pete Davidson lives here. Stay focused.
Red Rob.
The Long Island Medium. Oh wait, that's the other island. The Swan Mirror. Yay! I brought a blanket and bubble wrap to make sure she wouldn't get any injuries. Oh yeah, and I did run into Pete Davidson. Transportation included. This cost me $80.50. Finally,
Act 6. Thrift and aftercare.
once you have your cart of items with all your thrift finds, you sift through them and you decide what you're gonna buy and you decide what you don't want. Put your discards back where you found them, or else your family will die at midnight. Step 2, remove any tags. Trust me, this is a pain when you put them in the wash. Somebody forgot to remove all their tags. Oh wait, it was me. Oh no, these tags are extra sticky. Use Goo Gone. It's called Goo Gone because it gets the goo gone off ultra sticky stubborn tags.
Yeah.
Step 3, check the care instructions. Step 4, separate, and separate.
Lights, darks, delicates, dry clean only, bulky items.
Step 5, wash your thrift finds. There are horror stories of what ends up in the donated items. Poop, needles, mystery crud. They could be haunted or have bad energy or be someone's ex-boyfriend. Step 6, if you see stains, spot clean your thrift items. Most stains can be removed. You just have to know what kind of stain it is. I can do a separate video on laundry if anyone cares. Step 7, repairs. The tailor and your local cobbler are literal magicians. Here are my shoes before, and here are my shoes after. Here are my clothes before.
What a loser. That dress will never look good on her like ever. Wows.
And here are my clothes after. Step 8, karma. If you give back to the thrift gods will give back to you.
Miss Shayla.
And I promise you, once you start thrifting,
You look crazy.
regular shopping just won't hit the same. If you guys somehow have any more thrift tips that I have missed somehow, I have like 19 pages of notes here. Please comment them below. I would love to hear them. If anyone's found really great thrift finds, please write them below. I love hearing about other people's thrift finds. And well guys, that's the video.
I'm sweating.
I hope you had fun. The memories we've made along the way.
Shocked till we dropped.
I don't even know what to
Thanks
say.
for a million. Also, holy shit.
I sound like an idiot. I just, thank you.
yeah, thank you guys for being here.